I don't think that I really even understood what other cultures were. Like, for a long time as a kid, I thought that other languages were just like a code for English. Not true. I went to France for a study abroad in the summer in college between junior and senior years. So that was a different kind of experience too, in living with a family there, even though it was only for, 5 weeks, to kind of get a little glimpse into their daily lives. I went to Abu Dhabi in the United Arab Emirates for 6 weeks for work training. So for most of the time, it was just kind of like working with new people in a very hot place. The modesty guidelines were that you should always have at a minimum your shoulders and your knees covered. With working, it was kind of interesting because there were 12 people in my training class from various parts of the world. There were a number from the United States, but there were also some from Russia and from, Australia and from the Middle East also. And I remember in one group project with our classmates, and one of the guys who was from the Middle East made a comment along the lines of, well, women don't really belong here. The other girl and I, she was from Canada, we both kind of looked at each other like, did he really just say that? And, he kind of caught the look. He's like, oh, well, yeah, you guys are doing a perfectly good job, but, it's really a place for men. And it's kind of like, sort of just casual sexism, which turned up in other places too. One of the things we did on one of our weekends off is there's a really iconic and beautiful mosque in Abu Dhabi, and we went to visit that. But you have to be modestly attired when you're there, and if you show up and you're not in what they deem to be modest clothing, you have to put on a little robe over whatever clothes you have. And so, there's a line for the guys and a line for the girls, and you go into this room and there's this stern, middle-aged Middle Eastern woman who eyes you up and down and then points to the rack of, what kind of robe you need. If you can have one that stops at your knees because your pants are okay, or if you need the full ground length one because you're really just quite an immodest little tart. But the guys, in theory, also had the same standards were published that they couldn't be, wearing too short of shorts or, showing their shoulders and things like that. But that didn't seem to be enforced as strictly. Here we are, we just thought we were taking a tour of this beautiful building, and it was, we're being reminded that we're kind of second-class citizens here. Outside of the military, I don't really think too many Americans have spent too much time in the Middle East. So it was kind of an interesting opportunity to take.